Thank you, Maddie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. Glad you joined us for worship today. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation, or gender identity, you are welcome to worship here and become part of this community. I'll start the announcements off. So we're going to have a brief meeting after the service for discussing final plans for Christmas Eve, December 23rd. Anyone who would like to participate in the service, as a reader or passing out candles, whatever, please join us for that meeting so we get your name down and give you like an idea of what reading you're going to be doing. Any other announcements? Julie?
It's a long list.
Okay.
I also want to add to Rick's note about the Christmas Eve planning meeting. If anyone has any feedback from what we did last year that you'd like us to do a little bit differently this year, that is also the time to let us know, because the three of us never did a Channing candlelit service before, so we know we didn't do it the way that you guys have always done it. So if there's stuff that you want us to change, let us know. We have on Wednesday, December 20th, 6:30 p.m. Book Club. We're reading Loving Kindness, The Revolutionary Art of Happiness by Sharon Salzberg. We will meet in the office. Then on Saturday, December 23rd is the Christmas Eve service. At 5:30 p.m., we are having a little musical prelude by the North River Brass Quintet, so please come early and get settled in. After the candlelit service, we're going to have coffee hour in the hall. Sunday the 24th, no service. Thursday, December 28th, 6:30 p.m., craft night. Quick Creations will also be here while we do craft night, so we will either be in the office or we'll go out back to the RE hall, depending on how many of us there are. Saturday, December 30th, 7 p.m., AA meets in the RE hall. Please enter through the Park Street entrance. Sunday, December 31st, no service. We will be having a New Year's Eve potluck dinner. We're going to start at 2 p.m. There'll be games and crafts and activities for kids. We'll have the potluck dinner probably closer to dinner time, and it'll end around 8. We will have a champagne toast. We're not going to go crazy. but we will have non-alcoholic alternatives for those of us who do not drink. On January 7th, Sunday services will resume. They will be in Howland Hall until Easter. And then I have a couple of exciting announcements, and I swear I'm done. First, as a reminder, we do have free coats that we have gotten from Coats for Kids. If you know of anybody who needs a free winter coat, we have a selection of adult sizes and children's sizes. Anybody can take one for any reason. Just if you know somebody, you can grab one and bring it to them, or they can contact me and I can meet them here and they can select one. They're on the coat rack, they're labeled. Make sure you don't put your personal coat on that side of the coat rack or somebody might take it. I want to thank everybody who brought donations for the emergency homeless shelter here in town. They no longer need clothing. They're all set. They did ask for some men's clothing, but I think Susan got us covered. They are looking for regular Similac baby formula. So if anybody wants to contribute some of that, you can bring it in and I'll take it up. But what they need more than anything is volunteers to help them sort through the donations they've been getting so that they can hand them out to the residents there. So if anybody's interested in volunteering a couple of hours at the homeless shelter, please let me know. I'm creating a list and I'm gonna pick a day and time that works for everybody. And I'm gonna let the National Guard know and they're gonna coordinate it from there. And lastly, I do have one exciting announcement about our sharing shed. The manager at the Home Depot here in Rockland has generously given us $200 in vouchers to go towards the purchase of a new shed. So we will be fundraising the difference. So if anybody wants to contribute $5, $10, $1 towards the purchase of the new shed, please let me know. Hopefully we can get a new one quickly, because that one's literally bursting at the seams. I think I'm done. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Then I will welcome to the lectern our affiliated minister, our best friend, Reverend Dr. Judith.
We come to this place at this time and this place
To rediscover the wondrous gift of free religious community.
to renew our faith in the holiness, goodness, and beauty of life,
To reaffirm the way of the open mind and full heart.
to rekindle the flame of memory and hope, and
To reclaim the vision of an earth made fair with all her people one.
Lucia.
Yes. This is the third week of Advent, which is, and the theme for this week is joy. The third candle we light in this Advent season is for joy. Where do we find joy? Is it in the simple things like a warm and fragrant cup of tea? Or in something monumental like the birth of a new family member? In this, the season of sharing, that we find joy in the mundane, the monumental, the familiar, and the strange. Joy can sometimes be elusive. So we light this candle to help guide our way. We light the candle of joy.
And to light our chalice this morning in honor of Hanukkah, which is recently just finished. I'm going to take word from the Passover Haggadah. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, and to serve one and all in the spirit of freedom. May it be so.
Please stand as you are willing and able and recite the words now and the word of service to lighting the chalice. Kindling this flame, our liberal heritage, let us open the presence of the Savior. And now the affirmation, please. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is sacrament, and service is prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine, thus to be covenant with each other and with God.
Opening hymn this morning is hymn number 224, Let Christmas Come. Rick, will you join me in
For so the children come, and so they have been coming.
always in the same way they come, born of the seed of a man and a woman.
No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses.
No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind.
Yet each night a child is born. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night.
Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's crib feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning.
They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end?
Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Susan.
Good morning. What winter holidays do you celebrate? Have you ever thought about how these celebrations are connected to candlelight? The winter solstice is the basis for many traditions. People in ancient times found the long winter nights to be a little scary, so they lit candles and fires to hold the darkness back. Now we still use candles to create a warm, cozy light at our dinner times, to create a romantic atmosphere, and to celebrate peace and hope. Do you ever wish for a power outage and there's no electric lights so you can share some candlelight together? Remember the peacefulness and magic of candlelight. There are many different traditions around the world, and they all use candles during their celebrations. In November, the Hindu celebrations of Diwali use candles to symbolize the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. In December, candles are used in celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, and many other celebrations. This morning, I would like to share another story of a very old celebration in Norway, Finland, Denmark, and mostly Sweden, called St. Lucia's Day, or St. Lucy's Day, which is celebrated on December 13th. The celebration comes from stories that were told by monks who first brought Christianity to Sweden. St. Lucia was a young girl who would secretly bring food to the Christians in Rome who lived in hiding in the catacombs under the city. She would wear candles on her head so she could see in the dark and had both hands free to carry things. Lucy means light, so this is a very appropriate name. Nowadays, St. Lucia's Day is celebrated by the boys wearing white robes and a girl, usually the oldest, dressing up in a white dress with a red sash around her waist and a crown of evergreens with real candles on her head to symbolize new life in winter. Some people still use candles today, but many of us use battery-powered candles today. The children visit hospitals and homes of the elderly, singing songs and handing out biscuits with raisins or cookies. These represent the food that St. Lucia was giving to the Christians. The cookies are called cat cookies. On Christmas Eve, many Swedes watch Donald Duck. Ever since 1959, the Disney special comes on TV at 3 p.m. It's called Donald Duck and His Friends Wish You a Merry Christmas. But this is not your average Christmas cartoon. This is a serious cultural tradition. Also on Christmas Eve, there's a big feast with turkey, beef, ham, cheeses, liver pate, salads, meatballs, sausages, stuffed cabbage, potatoes with anchovies, and many sweet pastries. Presents are normally exchanged on Christmas Eve, and people often go to church early on Christmas morning. The children will now bring their cat cookies out to the fireplace room for everyone to enjoy during the coffee hour.
Speaking as an old Swede, thank you. I was muttering to myself that I didn't have my camera with me, but I saw you taking pictures of this. Watch my Facebook page tomorrow. I took pictures when I first came up here because you decorated this so anywhere, but you only heard me say that. I will not. We're going to sing the kids out and deck the halls, but I think they will. So I think I'm going to hop right over that and move into the time of our joys and concerns. This is the time of sharing of our joys and concerns, where we bring those things that lift our hearts, we weigh them down to share with our community, and from this beloved community we gain strength. Is there someone who has a joy or a concern? If you're going to say it from your place, holler it out so I can hear it. Please.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear?
Yep.
Today, Peter and I are married 7 years. It's our anniversary. And, because is that a concern? It depends on the day.
So I'm concerned for Jude to heal. In fact, we're still recording last night, so that's means. And another concern for prayer for sick and suffering.
Candle of joy that we've made it 10 years to the day since our house fire and no house fires.
Do you want me to light a candle?
Virtually.
Just get one of those candles.
One for our church member, Diane, who is still healing after her knee replacement surgery.
Oh,
For my Oklahoma grandson through a marriage who got out of prison on Friday, who is starting a new life. Thank you. Now we'd like one last candle for the joys and concerns that remain in our hearts. Let us carry these joys and concerns with us into a time of silent meditation and prayer. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become holy ourselves. That's holy and holy ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of beginning common to us all and to all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion towards ourselves and towards all living beings. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility and with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on the earth, now more than ever. Amen. Danny? Spiritual? May it be so. Come to the time in our order of service where we share the bounty of what we have, so that maybe we can do the work of others to help others. Thank you kindly for whatever you feel inspired to give us today. I promise we will put it to good use.
Please stand as you're willing and able for the dedication of gifts.
Please be seated. Letting me do the whole of the post. Sit down on the side. I have been making origami figures for over 60 years. And 2 or so years ago during COVID, I invented my first origami angel fold and named it the Better Angel. 2 of them right there. But let me tell you what precipitated this idea. And would you hold up the brown one, please? You see the picture of the cathedral in the middle with something white hanging over the top of it, and other pictures of angels. In England, in Ripon Cathedral, that's an angel too. That's what people get to do. But in England, in Ripon Cathedral, to be exact, there was an installation of white paper origami angels hanging in a wave-like installation that hovers and flutters over the nave of the church. You just saw the picture. It's absolutely beautiful. There are slender threads, so any movement of the air walking down the aisle will eventually send a little tiny movement of air up and then wave. Beautiful. When I first saw it, I thought, oh my God, is that beautiful? The symbol of the peace angels, all made by school children, and the ethereal beauty of the installation itself in an ancient view. But when I looked at it a second time, I wasn't so happy. Why were all of those angels perfectly, snowily, eerily, bloodlessly white? Are God's angels Caucasian only, and all others need not apply? Dear God, I hope not. You see, I like to think of angels as having shape and substance, and manifesting in all shapes and colors, including white. I do not think for a minute they all have wings and are restricted to our perfectly imperfect human forms, not to mention being able to fly and play a harp at the same time. How can a little brown or black child relate to a white-only heavenly host? Never mind Jesus, who was from the Middle East, and would have undoubtedly and undeniably brown skin like his mother and father, and the shepherds, and even the wise men who came to call. True, one of the 3 kings is represented as Ethiopian and having dark skin, but even the sheep and the goats are white. And Mary is often depicted as riding on a snow-white donkey, for God's sakes. First, white skin is not white. This is white paper, this is my skin. It is not white. In my former life as an art teacher, I used to make that point when I taught painting and teaching my children, and I was teaching my students how to paint flesh tones, I would ask them to place their hand flat out on a piece of white paper, and then see if they mix the real color of their skin. White paint or bright orange paint or Crayola brown makes for lousy skin color, believe me. Rick, would you please play Angelitos Negros? The words are in your order service, the Spanish and the English translation. First time I heard this, I wept. Because it was written in 1950, and Eartha Kitt sings it. We have an Eartha Kitt version, several people have done it. But asking the questions, why are there no angels that look like me? Why are there no angels that look like me? And for the most part, if you do get a brown angel, it's a Barbie doll dipped in brown paint or chocolate with very Caucasian figures. That's beginning to change, and I'm glad to see that. But please, Angelitos Negros.
Pintor nacido en mi tierra, con el pincel extranjero, pintor que sigue ese rumbo de tantos pintores viejos, aunque la Virgen sea blanca, píntame angelitos negros, que también se van al cielo, todos los negritos buenos. Pintor, si pintas para amar, desprecia su color, si sabes que eres fiel, también nos quiere Dios. Pintar besándonos de alcoba, si tienes alma en el cuerpo, porque al pintar en tus cuadros me olvidaste de los miedos. Siempre que pintas iglesias, pintas angelitos bellos, que nunca te acordaste de pintar un ángel negro. Pintor, si pintas para amar, desprecia su color, si sabes que el cielo también nos quiere Dios. Pintar besándose de alcoba, si tienes alma en el cuerpo, porque al pintar tu cuadro me olvidaste de los negros. Siempre que pintas iglesias, pintas angelitos bellos, pero nunca te acordaste de pintar un ángel negro.
So I was thinking about this sermon, and I have a background in art history. So I went to my art history sources looking for black angels. No. Rick, what I found, hold up. What I found are those lovely, they're beautiful, they're wonderful pieces of art. These folks, but they're white. So I hunted and hunted and hunted and hunted and hunted all over the place looking for some black angels. Finally, on Etsy, I found these, Ethiopian, from the Ethiopian Christian Coptic tradition. This was from an Equal Rights magazine. And this I found made by this woman on one of our international, local craft person with international flavor websites, UUA. It's a quilt. But I was finally able to find some representation of black angels that look black. So back to my origami. I wanted to make an angel, but I didn't want it to be lily white. In origami tradition, if you invent a fold, you get to name it. So I said, I'm going to do this. I've done it all of my life, lots of years. So, first of all, I did here we go. I needed paper, but I didn't want really white, wonderful paper. I wanted to recycle paper. So I got some chopping boards. And I experimented with a bunch of different shapes, but I found that the square shape suited me the best. So I folded it, folded it, folded it, folded it, and found out that this particular shape would work because I could poke a little face in there. Usually I do a bit of gluing, but I'm going to do this while I'm up here. Pull the skirt out, the robe, hold the face back. See, you're taking shape, and then the finished ones are up here. Okay? And then this one has been glued. And I take a little glue and then pop these into shape. Some of them have the supermarket bags writing on them. Some of them I turned inside out so they were even lovely shade of neutral brown. I really love doing origami. One of the reasons is why it's like my knitting. It's repetitive, it's predictable. It's very, very soothing for someone who can be off the wall, term anything. So I made a lot of them, a really lot of them. And when we go out for coffee this morning, there are better angels, I call them the better angels, out on a table in the fireplace room. All of you, please take one home for every member in your family, in your household. You can do with them what you want, but I made them for you. I made them for you. And I named it the better angel because we all have angels. One of each, a better angel and a worser angel. A kind and giving and compassionate and justice-seeking better angel, and a mean-spirited, cranky, selfish one. They tend to manifest when I have a substantive choice to make, and I need to make the right decision. But what is right? Is it right for me alone, or is it right for the greater good? Is it both? Can it be both? Can I or you find a way to make something we're going to do both? Good for me and good for the world? That's your call. Most of all, you need to listen to what your inner angel has to say. You will have been given, what will you do with your better angel? You can use it as a Christmas decoration. You can keep it while you're round as a reminder to pay attention to your better angel, or even, especially when you'd rather not. This angel and this message are for you. you would pass the angel on to somebody who needs an angel. And in this holiday season, and again on Friday night, I will wish you, and I do wish you, an overabundance of grace, and just enough of everything to keep you from being cold or hungry, and then just a little bit more to give you. Maybe so. And our closing hymn this morning is number 226, People of Peace. It is an Advent.
May the light around us gather our footsteps and hold us fast to the best and most righteous that we see. May the darkness around us nurture our dreams and give rest to us that we may give ourselves to the work of the world. Let us seek to remember the wholeness of our lives, the weaving of light and shadow, in this great and astonishing dance in which we move. May it be so. Go ahead. Yes.
Please stand to the voting table for the extinguishing of the chalice. We extinguish the flame,
but not the light of truth, or the warmth of communion, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.